Hi, today I'm going to be taking a look at an Evil Wreckoning LS frame. This frame is available in a couple of different colorways. I have it here in the Clay Porter colorway. It's also available in a Baja Fog colorway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the front of the bike and work my way back, just talking about the details on it. So we'll start with the head tube. So the frame comes fitted with a Cane Creek 40 headset. I believe this is a 0 stack 44 at the top and a 0 stack 62 at the bottom. So that's a 41mm bearing, and I believe it's a 52mm bearing on the bottom. The bearing just drops in, and then obviously you've got your crown race. Fortunately the crown race has a nice seal on it, so just to help keep the dirt out. This is the one that gets the most damage. And then at the top, just pop your bearing in. You've got the, fortunately this is all built in, which is nice, so it's just a single piece. And it comes with an Evil branded top cap, which comes with a bolt and then a star nut. You can also get an angle set from Works Components if you want to adjust the geometry a bit. So you can get that in a 1 degree, a 1.5, and I believe a 2 degree as well. So if you just want to slacken the fork out a bit. And it's generally spec'd with a 170mm fork. The head angle is 64.6 in the low setting and 63.9 in the extra low setting. Here's the head tube from the front. So it has an Evil badge on the front. This is a metallic badge that's stuck on. And then as you can see either side, it's got the cable and hose ports. These are fully guided, so you don't need to run any foam or worry about actually pushing them through. So I'll just get one of the cables, and then you just feed it through. Once you push that through, it will just pop out just underneath the top tube. And the frame comes with these cable clips and these protective stickers. So you would put the protective stickers just under here on the frame if you're not running any InvisiFrame. This frame is going to be taped up, so I'll probably not use these, but it's handy that they come with them. And the way these cable clips work is to just wrap around the cable or the hose, and then you just feed them into the actual frame there. It just helps hold the cable in place. The same goes for the rear on the seat stay. So you would just feed your cables or your hoses into the back there, and obviously put a clip on it to help hold it in place. On the top tube you've got a little Evil logo. These decals are actually just stickers. The frame is a matte finish, and then these are glossy stickers. Under here you've got a Evil logo. Then you've got some water bottle mount bosses. Moving on to the middle, you've got the Delta Link system. So this is the Evil linkage system. It's Dave Regal designed. And what they've done on this version is they've updated the top section. So it used to have some spacers just in here that you had to remove when you were putting the shock in, but they're now actually captive, so you don't have to worry about them popping out. This system can be adjusted with the flip chip, which is here. It's really straightforward. You just undo these bolts, you just turn it round. It looks more complicated than it actually is. This frame uses a trunnion mounted shock, and it's a 205 by 65mm. This frame's probably going to be having a push 11.6 fitted into it. One thing I would say is, although they've made the top linkage captive, the lower section still has an insert which you have to put in for the lower mounting hardware. So it's a little bit frustrating because these things tend to want to go wandering. So it would have been nice if they'd managed to make that captive in the frame as well. Here's the bolts that you'll need to secure the shock in place. As I say, it's just a trunnion mount, so it just screws directly in. Moving further down, you've got the Evil branded Downtube Protector. There's also a nice drainage hole here at the bottom of the shock, just to let moisture get out. And then it's using a standard threaded bottom bracket, and it has ISCG tabs. Now this is only a 2-bolt version, so you're going to have to make sure you get a compatible bash guard similar to this one, or MRP, or a couple of others do them as well. They're pretty easily available, so if you do want the extra protection, just make sure you get one of those. It comes with a Chainguide pre-fitted in, and this can be run from a 30 to a 36. I'd say this frame probably works best with a 32 or a 34, Moving further back, you've got the Chainstay Protector. A lot of the more modern rubberized chainstays have got these raised parts just to add a little bit more damping so you don't get as much chain slap. It's got a little bit of protection at the top here on the seat stay. And then you move to the back, it's running SRAM's UDH standard, so you can run the new transmission if you want on this. And here's obviously the exit for the gears if you want to run that. It'd be nice if they included some port covers for when you're running Axis. It doesn't actually come with any, so you're going to have to get them aftermarket. Moving on to the rear, you've got another decal on the back here. And then this is a Super Boost frame, so it's 157. And then it's got post mounts for 180mm rotor. It has a maximum of a 203. You can technically get a 220 in here, but there's not much clearance and you're definitely going to get frame rubbing. As you can see, here's the exit hole for the brake hose. So it comes with the axle. Good thing about all the Evil axles and bolts, they've all got the torque value on them, which is handy when you're out if they come loose. Moving on to the non-drive side. So it's nice and plain here, really discreet. I will show you on the back here, these Evils suffer with an issue with collection of mud, particularly in this area here. The main problem is that the frame has a cutout here for the seat tube. What tends to happen is the mud gets pushed and then collects in this section. So it's advisable to run a rear mud guard just to cover that hole up. So obviously you'd want it fitted just there, just to stop the mud getting in, because it can be a bit of a pain. But obviously if you're riding in drier climates, it's not going to be an issue. And obviously you can see the main bearing here for the linkage. It's basically a single pivot with a link at the front. And on this side you can see the sag indicator. So all you do is you just put it up, sit on the bike, and then it will push it down. And hopefully you've got to the 30% sag. It's not 100% accurate, but it is helpful just to get you started. And then just a quick look around the other part of the frame. As I say, it's nice and discreet, the logos. The other one I forgot to mention is this one around the seat tube. Evil offer these as decal kits, so you can get them in multiple different colours if you want to customise your frame. Onto the seat tube. This is an extra large frame, so this seat tube is a little bit too long for my liking, and it tends to mean that you can't run the dropper as low as you'd want. Now this is a 30.9 diameter. I'm not sure why Evil dropped back to this. They used to run a 34.9, which I thought was the better option for the burlier frame. You've got an Evil branded seat collar. Just wanted to show you the insertion depth of this frame. So here I've got a 1UP Components version 2 dropper post. This is a 210mm one. So I'll just put it into the frame. Now you can push it right in, but obviously you've got the actuator down there. So realistically, that's about as low as you can get it in the frame and still have it operate. So if you need more clearance than that, you're going to have to either get a different dropper post or you're going to have to downsize on this frame. Otherwise you're not going to have enough clearance. That was a really quick look at an Evil Wreckoning LS frame. If you've got any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them in the box below. If you've got this far into the video, I do appreciate it, and thanks for watching.